Hi, I'm Stephen Nesheva, as you know, and I'm here to help you out with the pre-lab for our computational lab on organic molecules and polarity. What I've asked you to do is make line drawings and indicate hydrogen bonding capability for a number of molecules. And the first three on the list are water, hexane, and this molecule called ethyl acetate. So I just want to kind of take you through those. This is actually a Lewis structure for water. I've drawn the lone pairs up there. There's a couple of hydrogens, of course. When hydrogen has a covalent bond to an oxygen, or a fluorine, or a nitrogen, here it's bonded to an oxygen, it is what we say capable of hydrogen bond donation. So this is a hydrogen bond donor. And if you have an oxygen, or a nitrogen, or fluorine, but in this case it's an oxygen, with a lone pair, then that oxygen is capable of being a hydrogen bond acceptor. E-P-T-O-R. Okay, so I've drawn a hydrogen bond. This right there is a hydrogen bond, and one molecule of water is being the donor, and one molecule is being the hydrogen bond acceptor. So let's move on to Lewis structures and how those lead into carbon skeletons. The next molecule is hexane. I've drawn out the Lewis structure of hexane. It's a 6-carbon organic molecule. The rule on drawing line drawings, or also known as carbon skeletons, is that whenever we have the end of a line, that means it's a CH3, and wherever I have a kink, it means that there's a carbon there, and if nothing else is shown there, it's just assumed that that carbon has 2 hydrogens on it. We don't draw the hydrogens if they're attached to a carbon. In fact, and we don't draw the carbon explicitly at all. They're just indicated by kinks or ends. So we've got a kink, CH2, another kink, CH2, and so on, and the end is a CH3. So that's the line drawing or carbon skeleton depiction of hexane. Ethyl acetate. Well, here is a Lewis structure for ethyl acetate, and we have a CH3 group, a carbon double bonded to an oxygen. So we have some heteroatoms here, oxygens there, and that we'll need to draw in explicitly. But at least for the CH3 parts, I know that I just need to, I'll just start it off just like that. That's this terminus right there. That's the CH3. Now I'm not going to draw in, explicitly that carbon, but I will put a kink there to indicate that there's a carbon. Now, what that went up to is this oxygen, and it's double bonded to the oxygen, so I need to draw it that way. Let's see, I have this carbon also attached to that oxygen, and since oxygen is a heteroatom, I need to draw it in explicitly. Okay, and now I have another bond there. That's to a CH2, and I know that I need to make a kink for a CH2, so how about if we kink up like that, and then it ends in CH3, so that's the last bit of it. And again, I don't have to draw in the carbons, and it's assumed that the hydrogens just go along for the ride. For example, just as before, I must have 2 hydrogens over here as drawn. There must be 3 hydrogens over here. There are no hydrogens attached to that carbon right there. The last little bit of it is to decide whether any parts of these molecules are capable of hydrogen bond donating or hydrogen bond accepting. Now, the rule on hydrogen bonding is that the hydrogen has to be connected to a oxygen, nitrogen, or fluorine. That's not the case here. I don't have any oxygen, nitrogen, or fluorine, so there's no hydrogen bonding capability for hexane. How about for ethyl acetate? Well, I should draw in some lone pairs. Okay, there's some lone pairs. And so it seems clear enough. I hope that this ethyl acetate is certainly capable of hydrogen bond accepting, hydrogen bond acceptor. But I don't see any hydrogens on here that are directly bonded to an oxygen. This doesn't have any hydrogens on it, and this one doesn't have any hydrogens on it. So this molecule is not capable of hydrogen bond donation. It is only capable of hydrogen bond, being a hydrogen bond acceptor.